does it bother you at all that Anthony Albanese now buys a $4.3 million house? I mean, you know, why shouldn't he if he's got the money in one sense?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. This is far be it from me to miss a bit of Albo bashing, an opportunity for it, but we constantly complain in this country that we get mediocre people going into politics, Andrew, with Albo actually being a pretty good example of that. You know the reason why we get mediocre politicians? It's because whenever there is some sort of story about their personal life, we jump on them, we get stuck in, and you know what? Every decent person who is actually a talent goes, why would I want that in my life? I think if we're going to have a bit consistent here, we need to say, look, ease off on these sorts of stories and actually get stuck into them for rubbish policies, which there is no shortage of available.
Danica, I'd actually be worried if a guy had so little financial nous, couldn't make some smart financial decisions even for himself. And I've got to also point out that Anthony Albanese is not as rich, say, as Peter Dutton, is not as rich as Malcolm Turnbull by any means, nor Kevin Rudd. So, you know, it's not off the scale there. And yet the timing of it politically is not helpful. Does that speak to how mean the voters are, how jealous?
Well, I don't think it's a case of jealousy. In the end, I don't understand what the big deal is about a man buying a property. Good on him. If he can afford it, if he can go out and buy a property in this sort of climate, that's fantastic. I don't care how he spends his money. I don't care how many properties he's got. It's not my business. I don't think it comes down to jealousy. I think what it comes down to is the optics of it when we are in the middle of a cost of living crisis, and Anthony Albanese has done nothing to help those who actually cannot rent, let alone buy a house. It's the optics more than anything. But I say, if you can buy a property, all the power to you. I don't have a problem with it.
Good on you both. Look, there is a lot of praise going on for former 60 Minutes journalist George Negus, who's just died after a battle with Alzheimer's. It's a terrible thing, and all sympathy to his family. All I will say at this time is that Negus is actually, I believe, more famous for how Margaret Thatcher caught him out playing an old journalistic trick. This is gold. Have a listen.
People stop us in the street almost and tell us that Margaret Thatcher isn't just inflexible, she's not just single-minded. On occasion, she's plain pig-headed and won't be told by anyone.
Would you tell me who has stopped you in the street and said that?
Ordinary Britons.
Where?
In conversation.
But I thought you'd
pubs.
just come from Belize.
Oh, this is not the first time we've been here.
Will you tell me who and where and when?
Ordinary Britons in restaurants,
How
in
many?
cabs.
How many?
I would say at least 1 in 2.
I'm sorry, it's an expression I've never heard. Tell me who has said it to you, when,
These are
where.
people that we meet in passing.
But
and we
of course you
obviously
cannot
raise
say
the
who or
question
where.
of the state of their country with them. And they tell us, yes, we have a tough Prime Minister, but she's a little bit pig-headed. She won't be told by anybody.
Will, I enjoy that for being a classic gotcha.
Yeah, it was. It's a great moment. What I would say about George Negus, along with many journalists of his generation, he believed in holding powerful people to account. And I don't think that is an attitude which is representative of the mainstream media today. So I think it's something which we should keep in mind. Thoughts to this family.
Yes. But I think that old thing is people tell me as a way of injecting your own prejudices. I think that died that day with that interview. I hope, anyway. Danica Di Giorgio, Will Kingston, thank you very much to you both.